social media companies somehow keep getting worse and worse and worse. This time it's Twitter. Reuters says the following. Twitter Incorporated will test sending users a prompt when they reply to a tweet using offensive or hurtful language in an attempt to clean up conversations on the social media platform. The company said in a tweet on Tuesday, when users hit send on their reply, they will be told if the words in their tweet are similar to those in posts that have been reported and asked if they would like to revise it or not. Twitter has long been under pressure to clean up hateful and abusive content on its platform, which are policed by users flagging rule-breaking tweets and technology and by technology. So, okay, let me explain to you what I think happened here. You have the verified class, the blue checkmark class on Twitter. And listen, I have a blue check. I'm not immune from this, but what I am saying is you have a lot of oversensitive, like wealthy blue check people, famous blue check people, who they'll read their mentions and they can't handle it because the criticism is too much. It's too over the top. It hurts their fifis. And they're like, somebody got to do something about this. And that's why you see, like, the whole Bernie bro narrative, yes, it was mucked up and they ran with it for far too long and it was ridiculous. But a lot of that is birthed from the fact that a bunch of dumb reporters for mainstream media said dumb things, and then people on Twitter were like, hey, that's really dumb. And they were like, oh, is this what oppression feels like? Yes, it's oppression. It's oppression to say mean things to me. You gotta be nice, yeah. So that's what this is birthed from. It's birthed from a bunch of oversensitive, pampered little pricks who are famous and wealthy who don't like it that the peasants get to respond. And so the fact that Twitter executives, they're always hearing from those people. Those are the people that Jack knows. Those are the people that you rub elbows with at the cocktail party. So he feels the pressure from these people. Eventually he acts on it. Eventually Twitter's like, all right, we got to do something about it. It's obviously a big problem. But it's not a big problem. It's only a problem among the freaking group of idiots that you guys are with, and you guys got way too much time on your hands to care about what people are saying on Twitter. Let me explain something to you. You don't like it, don't read it. That's it. Or use the block button or use the mute button. But move on with your life. The fact that Twitter has given us from day one, I believe, they had the block option and they had the mute option, right? Or if it wasn't from day one, it was pretty early on. They gave you all of the tools that you need to handle this. Block or mute, that's it. But instead, they keep going further and further and further because really, what these wealthy blue check elites want is a safe space. They want to be able to say whatever dumb thing comes to their mind and get no criticism. They want freedom from criticism. And that is the criticism and the freedom of Twitter. That was the original beauty of it. If you take that away, you got Dickie McGee's axe. You got a bunch of oversensitive, pompous elites sniffing their own farts and telling them it smells lovely. So this is so sad. This is wealthy blue check idiots who don't like their rude mentions. And, you know, in the same article, they go on to point out that Twitter took action against almost 396,000 accounts under abuse policies and more than 584,000 accounts under hateful conduct policies between January and June of last year. So they're ramping it up, man. They're ramping it up. And then the other thing is, it's subjective. It's totally subjective. So if you're in an argument with somebody and you call them an idiot or they call you an idiot or moron or stupid or whatever, Twitter might, pull the red card on that and say, whoa, 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 be careful here. But in my opinion, that's well within the realm of what's reasonable. That's not hateful. That's like a common thing people say to each other if they're arguing, if they have a vehement disagreement, if they have a strong disagreement. Who cares? Butt out. It's not that serious. Like, if you want to say, sure, there are certain things that cross the line, and if there's, like, repeated harassment or violent threats, everybody understands that there's some lines, and you got to act accordingly then. But in my opinion, you have to be so lenient with everybody else because who's to say what goes too far and what doesn't go too far? You don't you don't get to police the kinds of conversation people have. Some people can be best friends and call each other terrible things, but it's part of their friendship is that they say ridiculous things to each other. So it's just, you're trying too hard. You're trying to micromanage, you're trying to censor, and it's just, you're taking away the thing that made it good in the first place. So maybe you just tune out, like, in order to be a good leader, you have to have the ability to pull the BS card. And if you get a bunch of these blue check idiots telling you that, like, oh, we must do something about the rudeness on this site, yes, you have to be willing to say, no, we don't. Now piss off. That's what a leader would do. Are you going to say, what the original principles on Twitter included freedom of speech? Like, yeah, let's have a free platform. And then now they're like, freedom is a little too rude. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's change things. Dude, just for all the people whining out there, just don't read your mentions or use the block or use the mute. Move on with your life. It's not that damn serious. You're going to ruin a platform which was otherwise awesome because your feelings get hurt. I don't care about your feelings, and nobody should care about your feelings. It's really not that serious. We're all against harassment and legit abuse, but the problem is these people will not draw the lines in a reasonable place. They will not do that. And I know that because we've experienced it when it comes to YouTube. And when they decided, let's prop up authoritative news sources. Guys, just so everybody understands, it wasn't even that long ago that this channel obliterated CNN and MSNBC and all the mainstream media networks. They'd release a video and they'd be lucky to get 1,000 or 2,000 views on it. But guess what? When you change the algorithm so that every single time you look for anything political, it always redirects back to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News and the nightly news, CBS, ABC, so on and so forth, that's why those channels now get amazing numbers. Because YouTube had to change the algorithm to prop them up. And then channels like mine, which were doing really well with a totally free and open and fair system and a fair algorithm, now we're deprioritized. And we're deprioritized because we're not authoritative. So in the minds of the YouTube people, I don't know. I can't trust what that guy's going to say. I don't know what that guy's going to say. Sometimes he has edgy takes. I guess let's lump him in with people on the far right who might be like hateful and white nationalists. Because, anything that's not authoritative belongs in that category. And so then, boom, all of a sudden, you get growth slows massively, recommended videos slow massively, and it gets right back to the original point, which is I don't trust any of these social media companies because they'll tweak, the original mission into oblivion. And it's embarrassing and it's pathetic. And they want to, now, people turn to YouTube to escape like the stupid cable layout. And then now you have YouTube TV. And the people at YouTube were like, I got an idea. Let's make this like that stupid cable thing that everybody was trying to escape. Know your role. Know why people liked you in the first place. It's so embarrassing and it's so pathetic and it's so sad and it has a terrible impact on real people. And, I don't trust them. I know you guys don't trust them. And I mean this across the board. I mean the Facebooks. I mean YouTube. I mean Twitter. I don't trust the leadership. I think they're going to micromanage these companies into oblivion. And it's pathetic because there has been no real startup that serves that original role well. People say, oh, like what about like Gab? The problem is that all the people who went to Gab were so caught on like, they don't let us say whatever we want on Twitter that it's like, it all just became immediately like all white nationalists and Nazis. They were like, we got to escape the censorship. Let's go to this site. And it was just like, it became a legit hateful outlet where it's like, oh my God, I don't want to hang out with those people at all. So the original Twitter was the way to go. Like, okay, pretty much an open, free platform. We're reasonable with it. Obviously, you can't repeatedly harass somebody or physically threaten them or whatever. But outside of that, go ahead, have fun. And it's just, they're slowly but surely destroying it. And this is another example of it right here.